explain it?
I mean, we're just connected on the same page, and I think more dialed in on some of the details that we're lacking earlier on, and we're all committed to having a good PK, and we know it's important, especially in the playoffs. So happy it's getting a lot better, but need to keep pushing to as close as you can get to perfection, I guess.
Do you expect a playoff type atmosphere tonight?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for us. It's step one was to clinch, and now it's to get home ice and hopefully win the division. So obviously it's a huge game standings wise, and it's a team that we battle hard with and we compete with well, and so it'll be a fun one.
This could be the first opponent in the playoff, the Lightning. A situation where you can maybe set the thing up with the Lightning for the playoff.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I think it's just a good test to see where we're at right before the playoffs, and it's a great team over there. And I mean, ideally we're first in the division and don't have to see them, but we're a confident team, and it's fun playing against these guys because it's always a great game.
How have you seen them evolve over the years, the Lightning? How are they different from the last few years facing them?
I mean, I think they've been pretty similar the last every year that I've played them. They have these high standards as a team, and it doesn't matter who's in their lineup, they all are expected to play to those standards, and that's what makes a good team. I think the top teams in the league the last 4 or 5 years all have these standards that everyone needs to meet, doesn't matter who you are, and that's what makes them so consistently good is they're all chasing those standards, and that's something that we've noticed as a group, and we want to become that team that's consistently competing for a cup.
Jake, you're the only one team in playoff pictures who went to.
Had it. We got a group that cares about each other, and we would do anything for each other. So I think you just see glimpses of it, but I feel like it's been like that since I got here, honestly.
We saw you jump on opponents on a couple of occasions. So that's
not great at it, but try to.
Are we going to see your first fight soon? What do you think?
I don't
think so.
If the game asks for it, I sure hope not. But yeah, you never know what could happen.
All right, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
Lane, imagine it's going to be a playoff atmosphere out there tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we know the team they are. Obviously been contenders for a while now, and they want to build their game going into the playoffs just as we do. So it's going to be intense for sure.
What's the main challenge facing them?
I mean, Kucherov, and as highly skilled he is. The team kind of goes as he goes. So, he's such a gifted player. It's hard to control what he's doing, but you try to limit what he can do.
How is he able to exert the kind of control he does on the game, kind of slow it down like he does?
Yeah, I think he just is such a student of the game. He just knows, and tons of reps. I mean, he's been in the league for a while now, so he's kind of accustomed to what has been working and what doesn't work, and he's always making adjustments during the game.
Lane, what do you take away from the last time you played these guys?
Yeah, I think just how high pace it is. There's a lot of pace in the game in Tampa, so we got to be ready for that and match it and try to exceed it.
Bella talked about, the 50-goal chase. Maybe the past few games it might have looked like we're really looking for Caulfield. Do you think a night like tonight might be just the kind of opportunity to play the Canadiens kind of game, and that it come along by that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone wants him to score 50. It's going to happen. We're not worried about it necessarily, but when you try to get it to him, I mean, everyone wants to. So, this game should help with us just kind of playing and getting back to our identity.
you got to have that intensity from game one.
You were saying you cannot surprise an opponent, but can you throw a few curveballs though, like adjustments, depending on the opponent?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think like game-to-game adjustments, you're always going to have those and try and throw curveballs. And I think Marty and his staff do a really good job on a game-to-game basis on finding ways and finding things to do and throw at other teams. So that's going to be an important piece come playoff time. You know, even felt like playing New Jersey back-to-back was kind of a taste of that. Just little adjustments we had to make after game one in the neutral zone. We felt like they had a lot of time and space, and just adjusting that and did a better job in the second game. So definitely something that you do through the series.
What's the biggest challenge about defending Kucherov?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think for him, it's just his hockey IQ is so high. He sees plays that not a lot of guys see. And I think if you give him that time and space, he's going to make those plays a lot of the times. So I think it's important to try and limit his touches, especially in the O zone. He's going to get one or two, but maybe stay close to him so he doesn't get it back. Because usually when things are in his hands, he usually creates something good out of it. So obviously a great player in this league.
With the way everybody's bunched together there at the top, how much are you looking forward to this opportunity to go out and confront one of those teams?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great opportunity. You know, I feel like all year we've tried to chase standards and how we play and put ourselves in a position to be in the playoffs, one, but also to be chasing down a top spot in our division. I mean, that's the consistency throughout the year gives you a chance to do that. Great opportunity here at home in front of our fans. Be lots of energy and should feel like a playoff game. So we're excited.
What can you bring from the game you played against Tampa over there like 10 days ago?
Yeah, it was a tight game. I thought they had a good push in the third. I thought we weathered it pretty good. A lot of back and forth in the game. Two great teams, a lot of talent on both sides. So it's important for us just to get to our game early, have a good start, and try and build off that.
You expect a physical game like that one?
Yeah, I expect it to be like a playoff game where the intensity, the physicality, the competes at sky high. You know, with what's at stake and the two type of teams, it should be a fun one.
Do you expect to see a lot of Kucherov tonight?
Yeah, probably. But he's, like I said, he's a great player, big piece for them, and we got to do a good job on him collectively as a group and whoever's out there against him.
Thanks.
playoff or coming soon?
Yeah, I thought both Dobes and Fowles have done a good job of just kind of staying confident, being ready for whatever opportunity that they get, and they've played great down the stretch. So we have confidence that they can both get the job done.
You expect the playoff atmosphere tonight?
Yeah, for sure. We all know where the standings, and both teams trying to fight for home ice and first place in division. So it's probably going to be pretty intense tonight.
How much are you guys looking forward to this opportunity to go up against one of those teams?
Yeah, I think it's an amazing opportunity for us. I think we haven't played our best the last few games, but I think it's a great chance for us to just get back to playing the right way. We know we have to be at our best to beat these guys, so should be fun tonight.
Did you see the Lightning change their face over the last 2-3 years? The way that they play, the way that they approach games?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, they're still relatively the same team they were when they won the Stanley Cups, and their style of play, they're heavy, they're skilled. They played really well together 5-on-5 and got a deadly power play. So I think it's pretty close to the same kind of team.
When you talk about playing the right way, just like what are the key points you're anchoring yourselves to get back to that? Like, what are the key things you need to bring to the game to do that?
Yeah, I think kind of focus right now is defending and managing the puck through the neutral zone. I think we've been pretty sloppy turning pucks over through the neutral zone, which has resulted in teams being able to transition on us. So just protecting the puck, not trying to be too cute through the D zone and the neutral zone, and but we know what we can do once we get in the O zone. So just managing the puck better and defending better.
When you look at your last game against them, that seemed to be the recipe. Like, it looked like a real game of cat and mouse. Nobody was really blinking until all of a sudden some goals went in. So just, is it good to have that in the bank, fresh in your memory?
Yeah, I mean, that game was definitely playoff-like, and definitely expect kind of the same thing tonight. So both, I think, are really smart teams. They know how to manage the game. I think special teams is going to be important. 5-on-5. It's going to really take everything that we got tonight.
What do you guys need to change on the power play, if anything?
I think just kind of confidence has been a little low. I mean, we scored, but just kind of off a weird entry, and I think maybe just overpassing, looking, trying to find the perfect thing. Just try to simplify it against them tonight. They got a good PK, so just keep it simple.
Are seams closing quicker now, just because the intensity of the games are ramping up, and that those seams that used to be there maybe aren't there anymore?
Yeah, I mean, probably. I mean, Jersey had a really good kill. Tampa's one of the best in the league, and it's going to be guys aren't going to be cheating on the PK. Maybe sometimes during the regular season, it's important points and everything's on the line. So definitely tighter for sure.
Thank you.
Bon matin.
Bon matin.
Martin? Bonjour Martin, vous entrez vraiment dans une phase de match très importante. Il y en a eu des importants, mais là, on s'en va vers les séries. Comment trouves-tu qu'un jeune homme comme Jakub Dobson, qui joue une position difficile, s'est amélioré au niveau de la gestion de ses émotions? Je parle pas de la technique, parce que je sais que tu n'es pas le spécialiste, mais est-ce que Dobson envoie de plus en plus un bon message à ses entraîneurs et à ses coéquipiers, d'après toi?
Je pense que c'est son jeu. Il envoie un message, il a sa constance. Ses émotions, je m'en fais pas avec ça. Je n'achète pas de changer la personnalité. Fait que nous autres, on s'en fait pas beaucoup avec ça. Là. Mais je pense qu'il y a un effet sur le groupe, la manière qu'il se comporte dans le filet.
Bonjour. Depuis plus d'un mois, vous faites partie des bonnes équipes de la Ligue en désavantage numérique. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes de votre jeu en désavantage numérique? Qu'est-ce qui a changé peut-être par rapport au début de la série?
Je pense qu'on est plus connectés. Je pense qu'on travaille plus ensemble. On respecte plus nos règlements. C'est pas une chose, c'est sûr. Nos gardiens jouent bien. C'est pas une chose. Mais on a passé beaucoup de temps là-dessus, puis à parler de tous les petits détails. Je pense qu'on fait le meilleur job là-dessus.
Tu as côtoyé Kucherov à son arrivée dans la Ligue. Tu coaches contre lui depuis 4 ans maintenant. Collectivement, qu'est-ce que vous pouvez faire pour le limiter le plus possible?
C'est limiter ses touches. Puis je sais qu'il va être touché. On peut-tu limiter ces touches-là? Puis, les touches multiples, là, la POC, elle trouve beaucoup. Fait que... Puis beaucoup de choses partent avec lui. Fait que tu peux-tu limiter les départs? Ça part avec lui. Fait que c'est limiter les touches.
Marc-Antoine.
Martin, c'est une question vraiment technique, mais évidemment, dans un match de hockey, vous cherchez à cacher les yeux du gardien, vous mettre de la circulation devant le filet. Comment ça s'enseigne de pouvoir trouver le bon timing des flash screens, puis s'assurer que tu passes devant le filet au bon moment, puis qu'il y a une coordination qui est faite entre les coéquipiers?
Je pense que c'est une anticipation. Quand le joueur à l'extérieur, il est dans l'espace, mais il va sûrement être capable de faire un jeu qui va sûrement aller vers le filet. Fait que si t'es pas loin du filet, es-tu capable d'anticiper ça? Au lieu que si ce joueur-là, il n'est pas dans l'espace, il a besoin de l'aide. Puis habituellement, mais il faut qu'il y ait du support. Il va y avoir du support en haut à ligne bleue la plupart du temps. Ça serait le fun d'avoir du support en dedans, puis du support en bas. Fait que quand il y a de la pression sur ce joueur-là, à l'extérieur, mettez plus en mode support qu'en mode aller en avant du net. T'sais, fait que es-tu capable d'anticiper ça? Puis ça part beaucoup avec l'équilibre sur la glace, avoir du ballon. Si t'as pas de ballon, mais t'as pas toutes ces affaires-là à disponibilité. T'sais, fait que il y a de l'anticipation, ça c'est sûr.
C'est difficile pour un joueur d'améliorer ça individuellement?
Non, moi je pense pas. Je pense que ça prend pas de talent. Ça prend un focus, de comprendre comment tout le monde sont importants sur la glace. Puis c'est beaucoup plus les joueurs sans la rondelle.
Eric Engels, c'est tout quand?
Bon matin, en suivi sur le désavantage numérique. Vous avez quand même eu beaucoup de changements de personnel entre la dernière saison et la présente, même en cours de saison, avec Dano qui s'est ajouté. Est-ce qu'on tend à sous-estimer l'importance, quand tu parlais d'être connecté, des répétitions ensemble?
C'est sûr. C'est sûr.
Là où ils sont, où il t'aurait voulu qu'ils soient, c'était comme l'objectif un peu.
Oui, c'est sûr. C'est sûr. On savait qu'il fallait progresser là-dedans. On savait qu'on allait progresser là-dedans aussi. Puis, c'est pas linéaire. Ça prend de la patience un petit peu. Ça prend de l'enseignement. Ça prend de l'engagement. Mais, tu sais, quand les joueurs sont habitués ensemble, ça l'aide.
Des changements, c'est pas on n'aura pas ce match.
If you look at the beginning of the year, you guys were playing for something, but there was no urgency to your situation, you manufactured it. Now you're in a situation where you're playing for something, but you made the playoffs already. You have to manufacture urgency again. What have you learned as a coach to create that sense of urgency when it's not naturally there?
Oh, you got to be creative. You got to sell. You got to convince. You got to, keep it fun. You try to have a pulse on your team at different times. You got to try to be demanding. I don't think there's one recipe. I feel as a coach, I've learned you got to have a good pulse on your team and try to, to be creative through an 82-game schedule.
With what your sense is of your team right now, what are you selling to them to create that spark of it's now,
I think the biggest thing is they got to stay hungry, and I think I think it's a group decision, and I can't take them over the line. That's on them, and they got everything they need to get over the line, but it's got to be a group decision.
Marty, I know there's a lot of people behind the scenes who helped this team and built this team. Roger Grillo's one, obviously. Great to see him back. Another one is Chris Boucher, your analytics guy. I'm just wondering, with his job, how has he helped you, and how much is that? Do you focus on that kind of stuff?
It's all the data. You got to look at it. It's not the whole story, but it's some of the story, and you get steered, or we use it, and I feel like his department's been a huge addition, and he's a big part of of why we do things a certain way. He's one of the reasons, right? I feel like there's multiple things, but we, based on where we are now in sports, you got to pay attention to that, and we do.
Behind the scenes, we see Patrick Laine on the ice this morning. What can you say about? It's obviously been a tough season. What can you say about just the way he looks happy in practice?
Yeah,
just the way he's stayed part of the team.
Yeah, no, I feel like he's had a great attitude. It's been good. No, it's not easy, but it is what it is. But he's had a great attitude.
Arvin?
Marty, some games are fast and loose over the course of the season. Some games are physical. Some games are physical and dirty. Have you seen enough of those last two categories and how your team reacts?
I think we can play any kind of game you want to play. I think we're equipped for anything. You just got to be ready for what's next in front of you. You have to bring some jam, I feel, to every game, but there's a lot of free hits out there. You got to be ready to give them. Sometimes you got to respond from the dirty stuff. You got to stick together. You want to play a wide open game, and we can do that too. But I feel you got to be calculated, and you got to play the game that's in front of you and be ready for anything. We can do that.
As mentioned, Marty, you saw Cooch at age 20. You coached Demi at age 20. He's unfortunately, fairly or not, he's often compared to Cooch, and he himself looks up to him. Do you see any, if any, do you see any similarities in the way they think the game, the way they see the game, or the way they manipulate the game?
I think it's too early to tell, in terms of the way they see the game. I would say, Demi's going to keep learning and how to play the game. He's got great skill. He's got a lot of one-on-one stuff. I don't think Cooch is necessarily a one-on-one player, but, he's a master at playing chess, and I think Demi is going to get better at playing chess. The one thing they have in common is, I guess, the passion that they have, and they're addicted at getting better. They spend a lot of time on working on their stuff. So that's promising for me when, you see where Cooch is today. You know, that's...
Is there a chess when you met him?
I don't think so. Not that he couldn't play chess, but I don't think you come in the league and you're a master. You know, I think you work yourself to that. You know, and but the similarity, that's why it's exciting, because you see where Cooch is at today. This doesn't happen by chance, by luck. This is somebody who works on his craft, and you know, Demi has that.
J'ai pas compté combien que Cole a tiré de rondelles le matin, mais dans le temps, au forum, il y avait la légende de Guy avec la chaudière de rondelles le matin des matchs. Je sais pas si Cole était rendu à une chaudière, là, mais tu penses-tu que c'est encore la meilleure façon pour un gars comme lui de se préparer?
Ben oui, c'est pas nouveau. Il fait ça à toi. C'est bien rare qu'il prend son option. Il va shooter des pucks, il va travailler avec la puck. C'est ça. C'est ça qu'il fait. C'est pas parce qu'il essaie de frapper 50 buts qu'il fait ça le matin. Il fait ça tous les jours. Il fait ça à la pratique. C'est sa routine. C'est la confiance. Les joueurs, il faut qu'ils travaillent sur leur confiance. Puis c'est ça que ça leur permet quand ils vont toucher à la puck de même.
C'est rassurant les routines aussi pour ces gens-là.
Pour eux autres, je pense que ça fait partie d'aller chercher la confiance, puis la préparation, puis calmer les émotions, puis tout. Puis je pense que ça fait partie de ça.